HBO Succession is not just one of the best TV shows of all time, in my opinion. It has a number of wonderful economics lessons. In this series, I go through what these lessons are, show some clips from the TV show itself, and discuss the implications. My name's Matt Rosu. I'm Dean of the Sigmund Wise School of Business at Susquehanna University, also a professor of economics. If you like this type of content, please click like and subscribe, and you can get notified when new videos are released. Today, we're going to talk about what's called rent seeking, which is a branch of an area in economics called public choice theory that examines political processes through the lens that individuals and entities are really looking out for their self-interest. It's a little bit of a cynical view, but there's a lot of realism to it, and it really helps us get insights into how the political world operates and how people will operate under different incentives. Let's go to a couple clips we've spliced together from seasons 1 and 4 right now.
Well, Jerry says there are multiple indicators. He wants to be sympathetic to our expansion.
You think so?
If he waves us through, he gets hundreds of local TV stations and most amenable to talking about what a great f***ing guy he is.
He just needs to be prepared to take a little political heat is all.
4 more years, we're Procter & Gamble of the news.
He'll be just along the hallway here, Mr. Roy.
I have been there before, and I do know how hallways work.
So we'll be with you shortly.
What a f***ing song and dance, eh?
Mr. Roy, I am so sorry, but the President passes on his sincere apologies. He's currently dealing with a matter of Homeland Security. He's sure you'll understand, but he's going to need to offer an alternative face for this discussion.
Right. So, Shiv, on the one thing from us on the tailgate, we were actually wondering about us politically inviting Nate.
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 Sofrelli? Okay. Tom and I kind of had hoped that... Why?
Because it went so well in LA, hats off to the greatest showman here. And apologies on the old wibble wobble and all due congratulations, but...
Okay, so you want to make sure we have a plan B in case we can't chase Mattson out of town on price.
Exactly, and we think that's regulatory. We go hard regulatory. DOJ, FTC, FCC, EU.
Uh-huh.
No?
I mean, I think they might just stop it. But,
Yeah.
But even just the threat creates a ton more risk for Mattson. Kicks the deal down the line, right?
And Nate, he's across competition, and he's typed the Menace folks on that, so...
Can we get him down so we can sell it on a real level without lobbyists and all the...
Due process?
that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, fine.
Good?
Fine.
Okay. All right, see you
See you
tonight.
tonight. Me too.
Wait. Hey. Hey, Lucas. Yeah, listen. So they're gonna go regulatory.
Okay. In these clips, we first see Logan in season 1 on a trip to the White House, taking a lot of time, taking his personal jet down to Washington in order to meet with the president, of course, to offer some things in exchange for political favors. In the next clip, it's season 4, we see Kendall and Roman discussing their plan to influence legislators, lawmakers, that a deal shouldn't go through. Essentially, they're going to expend significant amounts of energy and resources lobbying for particular law changes so they can make profits. These are both examples of what we call rent seeking, which is a type of government failure that we would study in public choice theory. And the reason that this is a failure is you have a process set up where the government enables individuals to put in significant amounts of effort to win a prize. And the failure that we see here is the incentives are such that a disproportionate amount of effort should be spent on these non-productive activities. So here, instead of Logan in the first scene and Kendall and Roman in the later scene, instead of them trying to think through what are ways we could create new products or improve the existing product that we have, or how can we produce the same product but more efficiently at a reduced cost, or any other improvement to the business. Instead of them thinking about how they can make the company better, they're spending resources, could have been used elsewhere, in order to fight for a political prize. That is exactly what rent seeking is explaining. There's a prize at stake, and individuals are fighting for that specific prize. So, what are some examples of real life government failures? Well, the first most obvious one relative to this would be when you see lobbying of government officials. If a firm or an industry where a number of firms contribute, if there is money and resources spent lobbying government officials, that's money and resources that aren't spent trying to produce more of the product, trying to make the product better, trying to come up with something new, right? It's resources simply on lobbying efforts. That is fighting over a prize. And sadly, in a political process, you've probably got another side who's spending just as much in resources that are being wasted. Instead of people doing something productive for society that would have helped the world out, they're fighting over a particular prize. Sometimes these can actually be incredibly harmful to society. For example, sugar industry, sugar prices in the US are incredibly high because of the restrictions on importing sugar in the US. US sugar prices are among the highest in the world. So not only is the industry expending lobbying money, but consumers are worse off because of that. A second area we would see is with the grant writing process, where there are prizes for successful grant proposals or where there are proposals for government projects. So imagine, well, you don't have to imagine, but there are many thousands of grants available that could be worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions or tens of millions of dollars. To get those, right, you have to put in a proposal. These proposals take a significant amount of work, and you'll have a lot of entities, instead of doing something else that could be more productive. For example, in higher ed, right, this could be conducting new research. This could be teaching students. This could be working on improving teaching methods, or a whole host of other activities. It's for writing the proposal. It's fighting over this fixed prize. I have written grants myself, right? But that particular activity took away from other things that I would have done. Government projects, right? Let's say the government wants a road built and they're taking bids. Well, these are so valuable, it's worth the organizations to put in a significant amount of effort to get their bid exactly right to maximize the probability they win. But of course, this is not time spent actually building the roads or doing the productive things. It's putting a proposal together. That's another example of fighting for a prize instead of doing these productive activities. Third one, where you see rent-seeking behavior, is actually when government aid to needy countries. So let's say the U.S. decides to give $2 billion in foreign aid to a poorer country. Sadly, a lot of that $2 billion won't end up in the hands of people who need it most, because through the political process, there will be many people who expend effort and energy fighting over the rents, right? This is rent seeking, but whatever money they could receive. They'll fight for it, they'll spend energy for it, and then a lot of the money doesn't even end up where we wanted it to end up. Third example, there are many more that you could come up with. But the bottom line on rent-seeking behavior is we see too much effort spent on the non-productive activities in order to gain a fixed prize. It's exactly what we saw in the episodes from season 1 and season 4 in the short clips that we watched. Once again, my name's Matt Rosu. I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe. You'll get notified when new ones come out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.